Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for the 8:30 stream show. It is Tuesday, January 6th. I'm Mitch Carter.
That's right. I'm Casey Mason. Thanks so much for joining us here. Of course, meteorologist Byron Douglas coming up next here. Before we get through a couple of these top headlines, we are going to start today with just a few traffic updates that we want to let you know about as you maybe head out, hit the road here this morning. So drivers on Evansville's west side will be moving into new lanes today as the Lloyd for You project continues. NDOT officials say that the bridge over Teacup Avenue is going to be finished now. This means traffic going in both directions will now be moved sometime today into the westbound lanes over that newly completed bridge there. So road crews were out yesterday moving some barrels and putting up signs to just prepare for this. Officials say that drivers that are going to be turning right, though, onto the westbound Lloyd should still just make sure you stop and look for traffic before then making that turn. Drivers will want to be aware of these changes at every intersection between St. Joe and Baney Camp Road.
And speaking of St. Joe, happening today, temporary traffic lane restrictions going into place on St. Joseph Avenue. That's between the Lloyd Expressway and West Michigan Street, with Evansville Water and Sewer Utility crews saying they're going to be in place through Thursday. They say it's all for a water line project as part of the ongoing Lloyd for You project.
All right, and now a 14 News update on that Owensboro Blue Bridge closure. So unfortunate news here. Kentucky highway officials say that the work is taking longer than expected. Now, we shared this on 14 News Sunrise here this morning. Officials say that they were notified by American Contracting that the closure is going to take 2 more weeks than they originally expected this to. Now, it was scheduled to open next Friday, January 16th, but now it will be closer to the end of the month. Officials say that the contractor has actually been charged more than $1.5 million for those failures to meet their deadlines.
There you go. And switching gears here now from all the road work to some sports news. Rockabar hosting another watch party for the game coming up here. Got some video here on your screen of last week's watch party when IU beat the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl. The event kicks off on Friday night at 6:30, the same time as kickoff, and the event is once again hosted by the IU Alumni Association of Greater Evansville. I know the last event at the Rockabar, that we talked to somebody out there who said they couldn't let anybody else in. It was full capacity, so folks are definitely excited here to watch the Hoosiers play once again. Semifinals, college football playoffs should be good.
That's right. Be sure to wear your crimson and cream, or
That's right.
You won't be allowed in. Just kidding. Highly encouraged, though.
Yes,
you know.
of course. Right now here, it is 8:32. Good morning, Laura and Suzanne. Appreciate you guys commenting, hopping on and joining us here. As far as weather goes, we've talked about it all morning. We have an alert day coming up now. They shifted that timeline to kind of Thursday afternoon, evening, rolling over into Friday. So stick around. Byron Douglas up next with your weather headlines.
See ya.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good Tuesday morning on this January 6th. Hope everyone's having a super day. We're going to break down the alert day. I'll take this full in a moment. Leslie Chapman is on. Cheyenne, appreciate you tuning in. Suzanne, thank you for tuning in on our stream here. We have the alert day. We moved it up generally Thursday afternoon, but generally I think the best setup for any severe storms, it would be an isolated severe weather that we'll check in with the Storm Prediction Center, would be Thursday night. Overnight, into the pre-dawn hours on Friday. And then a subsequent round, if we can get the moisture back in here and recharge the atmosphere, and then waiting for a cold front Friday night, perhaps overnight into Saturday morning. I'll know more a little bit on Friday's system once Thursday's system clears. A few thunderstorms, and we do have that severe weather potential during that time frame. Doesn't look to be a big outbreak of severe weather. And keep in mind, when we check in with the Storm Prediction Center, You get that general risk, and we've had the last round in the general risk area, which is not classified as severe. We had radar indicated tornado warnings outside of our viewing area before we had our own troubles back on Sunday. All right, let's take a look at that. Severe weather threat is officially into Gallatin County, but there's a case to be made on some of the modeling I'm looking at that pretty much area-wide we could be added to a level 1 threat on Thursday. This would be later in the day on Thursday and then into Friday overall. So when I talked about when we had severe weather, it was the final Sunday in 2025. So that's what we're classified as from the Storm Prediction Center right now. And on Friday, we have a chance early Friday. The dynamics have shifted. It was in western Kentucky, far southern Illinois yesterday, up to about the Ohio River. It has shifted down into Tennessee. However, there's a case on Friday we could have a level 1 threat. We would get that officially from the Storm Prediction Center tomorrow. So we look at more dynamics just from the SPC, but this goes out into Friday. And we could even have a marginal threat into the pre-dawn hours on Saturday. So that's the setup. No issues here in the short term. We're going to be 20 degrees above normal today. So underneath these low clouds, I don't think I loaded up the cloud layers, but some patchy mist and drizzle. And up in Michigan, they're dealing with rain. Winds, the highest winds will be here during the morning, gusting 20 to 25. And once we see that clearing line, and we're seeing skies clear out across Fairfield right now, the winds will start to ease a bit. So as we go hour by hour, some sunshine into the afternoon, about 60 to 62. Our average high is at 42 during this time of the year. And I think we make one additional stop down in Madisonville into Morton's Gap. What I'm going to do is I'll take this full, so I'm not standing in the way. Get into Morton's Gap. About 61, 62 as we go into the afternoon. Well above average. All right, here's the latest modeling as we go through taking that clearing line. These low stratus clouds, very stubborn. Sometimes you think that clearing line is right there at lunch, but it kind of lingers until 1, 2 in the afternoon. But the winds are up enough. The last 3-4 hours of daylight, I think we'll see a fair amount of sunshine. Then clouds will envelop the area early on Wednesday, and then we'll see generally a full plate of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. The alert day on the board for Thursday, but we're fine during the morning, during your morning commute if you're out at lunchtime. Winds are going pretty brisk out of the south, will be breezy. And let's take a look at 8 o'clock. Still very breezy during that time frame. Could even have some gusts over 30, absent any thunderstorm development. And Thursday night into the pre-dawn hours on Friday, showing a few thunderstorms developing during that time frame. This is where we have that isolated severe weather threat. Not a big outbreak of rough stuff. Of course, it only takes one nasty thunderstorm to create some trouble. That takes us into Friday morning. Here's the mid-range European model. I used the GFS on 14 News Sunrise, so I'm just switching it up just a bit. As we go into Thursday night, very windy. This is the first system clearing the area. And then into Friday morning. Now, Friday early in the day, a few storms going down through Bowling Green, Central City, covering areas down to the south and east across western Kentucky early on Friday. Then the challenge is, once this system clears, will we have enough energy to get another round going on Friday night? Right now, the best dynamics are to our south. But we did capture Friday as an alert day for those pre-dawn storms with the caveat we'd have the potential to get some additional ones going on Friday night. And then into Saturday, we're dealing with some clouds and rain as we go during the morning, and then some clearing skies during the afternoon hours. And then a chance for a few flurries on Sunday, but not associated with any accumulation. So there's the alert day. We'll grab this full Thursday morning. Generally, Thursday during the daylight hours, I believe we're fine. I put in a high probability of showers and storms early Thursday night, overnight, and then into Friday. That potential for a few storms early Friday, then again late Friday, and then into Friday night. And then on Saturday, 48 on Saturday, and then a 40 on Sunday. So that's the latest there. So bringing you up to date. Very mild this week, well above normal. So Leslie Chapman, 14 News. Jeanette, good morning to you. Suzanne, Janet, thanks for tuning in. Of course, Laura down there in Dawson Springs. Arden Gregory is going to have more coming up in our next newscast. Any new information from the Storm Prediction Center or any big changes, we'll get that out on our 14 First Alert weather app. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.